isipan. Gopalakas, malinis na paligid, mabuting kalooban. Gopalakas, hangad na maglingkod sa kapwa't kaibigan. Gopalakas, alagaan natin si inang kalikasan. Halika na totoo sa kalikasan at kapwa-tao. Isa buhay natin ito. Gopala, Gopala, Kalusugan, pangkalikasan. Gopalakas.
Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. First of all, no matter how rainy it may be today,
May bagyo pa nga
may
dun sa
bagyo pa sa south,
di ba?
we want to thank all the viewers coming around. And, good morning, Kalini Rilova.
Yes.
And
Matt,
Matt Resurrection from Silang, Cavite.
So anyway,
Even Harry Kopulong from right here in La Union.
Yes.
okay, so, siyempre, ilang araw na lang, Pasko na talaga. Hindi na natin mapigilan. No?
Ba't naman natin pipigilan?
Dapat
Excited
sana,
na tayo.
Parang, siyempre, every day comes as a valuable day for those who are always very thankful for and in remembrance of what Jesus has done for many of us. No? So, itong hindi lang yung araw ng Pasko, ngunit dapat pang araw-araw we have to always be introspecting, whether we are coming closer to what the message of Jesus was all about. No? Alam nyo, Jesus was known as a messenger of peace, and we discussed this previously, and we know that we've been faced with so many struggles worldwide, di ba?
Oo.
From pandemic to even
Racial discrimination.
so many
It
issues.
was always there.
Terrorism, mga
Yeah, even here in our country, the
conflicts.
issue on, sometimes, no matter what, our leadership with the intent to minimize the effect or the ill effects of criminality, drug use. But once people get to this kind of activities, it's basically seen as there's something wrong that we need to address in our society. The social issues is very much driving people to engage in such heinous activities or such activities. No, hindi naman, by nature, humans have the intelligence to be able to decide on what is right and what is wrong. So when people are forced or are put in a situation where they embrace wrongful activities, it's simply out of desperation and struggle for many. Diba? And looking for that peace, looking for that satisfaction. But yet this world cannot offer that, So anyway, bumati naman kayo.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
I'd like to greet Rosalinda Lascano. Yeah, good morning. Gopalakas, sabi
From
niya.
Japan pa
From
yan.
Japan.
Oo, our good
oo.
friend from Japan.
And from Luntian. How nice naman the name, Luntian. Good morning from Angeles City. And Thomas also from Angeles City,
Yes.
Ortiz, Ting. I don't know where they're from, but good morning to you
Batangas,
also.
our friend.
Yeah,
Oo.
friend. I see. Oh,
Our-
okay.
Yes.
So, yes, peace on earth. This is the message of Jesus Christ. And all of us want peace, of course. But sometimes we're thinking how to get this peace. It seems to be elusive, yeah? But not really. Jesus has come with his gifts of wisdom, teaching us, love God, love your fellow man, yeah, love your neighbor as you love yourself. If we listen to these simple messages and we actually practice this in our lives, then peace will come naturally. You know, when we love God, we realize that all of us are really children of God. So there should be no fighting amongst us. Like brothers and sisters,
yes.
we share the resources that God gives to us. You know, we shouldn't be fighting over power, fighting over the resources. Sometimes kahit pa yung buwan, we fight over the moon. There are people who, hindi kami mauna dyan, hindi kami, you
Di
know.
ba panahon nga ng mga family reunions,
Yes,
hindi ba? That
oo.
we know that in a family, o kahit may problema ito, may kakulangan tong isang kapatid, or may kakulangan yung ama, still we know in a family we forgive, we
Yes.
accept each other, and try to care for one another. And this family is actually, Jesus Christ is the whole community of living beings.
Yes.
Hindi lang yung pareho yung apelyido, parehong
Parehong
ninuno o
humans.
yung So this feeling of brotherhood, tsaka being family, kinship, mga makakamag-anak tayo, is actually expanded to everybody, to include everybody, and not leave out anyone.
Yes, it's all about inclusion. Let's not get, you know, stuck on colors. Like you're black, I'm white, this is brown, this is yellow, that's red.
Or
It's just
Asian,
like our
or
clothes.
American,
Never mind
or
that.
African,
Yeah.
or
Yes, oo.
Middle East. There's so many
All
of,
lives matter, okay?
yeah,
Yes.
not just the color.
Yes, actually, maybe in the Philippines, we all have the same color, no?
Not
of
really,
skin.
iba-iba sa atin.
Pero,
May maputi.
sa Philippines, mas pronounced yung yung socio-economic status. Doon nagkakaramdaman na iba kami, social kami,
O, na may pinag-aralan
elite
kami.
we're
Or we're
rich, you
yeah.
know, we're celebrities, mga ganon. So basically yung inclusiveness, no, parang nakikita mo rin, kamag-anak mo rin yung mga taong na nasa squatter areas or whatever na
Whether they're educated or not,
Those who na,
they're all
kumbaga,
children of God.
status eh. We're so
Yes.
much into that. Or,
What we call the false
we
prestige
also have,
idea.
diba? There are many issues that our government are confronted with to the point where because of, it's become a time factor. Yung mga, di ba, lumads, the issues with the lumads, the issues with the ITs, the issues with what is a better government, the governance. Marami
Yes.
kasing ganun na issue. Up to now, it's so prevalent. And the fact that this becomes a difficulty for many. You see,
Yes.
we are all peace seekers. Who wants to be living in the mountains and being in always stressful situation? And you know, living in the hinterlands is not a pleasant thing. We look forward to having times with our family or being able to live our life where we respond not only to our needs, that to be able to provide our needs, but also to be able to provide for my family. Diba?
No.
We all want to be, alam nyo, in the real culture, we find that it is the family that stays together. The key, you know, for a society to be able to function well, it begins with the individual, then the family. See, because we can speak on wisdom. Where do we immediately put to practice such wisdom? It begins at home. You know. So this is something that Jesus was actually, this was his mission. Okay, to bring about, look, this is how do we begin this? Starts with the individual, then that caring is amongst you as family, diba? Even Joseph and Mary, you know what I'm saying? But still, how they stayed together was a model for us to see and look at. No?
Actually, yung kasi minsan ang common question ng mga tao, bakit ba ang gulo-gulo ng mundo? No? Parang that's always
Talaga,
the question, bakit ang gulo-gulo ng mundo? So there has to be, kailangan naintindihan yung pinakaugat, saan ba nanggagaling yung gulo?
Eh, minsan kasi, bawat tao, magulo rin ang isip.
Yun, there is no peace within the hearts of people, and that will manifest, you know. Like for example, sa Amerika, yung mga nangyayari na papatay ng mga tao sa isang eskwelahan, hindi ba?
O yung
mass
bigla na lang may
killing,
shooting dyan.
mag-shooting, ganon. This person na, yung killer na ganito, ano na siya desperado, galit, you know.
Magulo ang
There's
isip.
no peace in his heart. And because yung nararamdaman niyang gulo, yung kanyang anger and everything, ilalabas niya ngayon.
It spills over
It spills
to the
over. Oo.
everyone else around
So
him.
when we talk about bakit nagpapatayan and everything, this springs from the hearts of people na hindi nila na-experience yung peace inside their hearts. That's why they commit such violence.
One has to understand such difficulty also is caused by, there are many factors to it. When we have embraced a lifestyle of something that is in pursuit of that which is material, or
Yes.
we decide, let's say, if you live in the city, for example, in the urban center, you're detached from an environment that gives about a more peaceful feeling
Yeah.
and quiet time and harmony. So, in the first place, that is a natural creation. May ganun yan eh. Even if we are maybe connected, humihinga tayo ng hangin, tubig, kumakain tayo, these are all gifts of nature. But yet, we don't recognize, in the way we live, we don't recognize the fact where it's coming from.
Yung relationship natin
So,
sa Panginoon.
di ba?
Sa Mother
Who has provided
Nature.
for most of these facilities? Even amongst ourselves, we cannot lay claim that, oh, this is my family.
No.
My children are mine. You know,
Claiming
when we
ownership.
yes, when we tend to see things in this perspective, this is when it creates that sort of division immediately in your life, and the
Yeah.
consciousness that you are.
Conflict, nakaka-conflict.
Yeah, meron
tuloy.
kagad yan eh.
Oo.
Kasi the nature of worldly living sa mundo na to, kasi dualities eh. There are dualities in this world eh. Di ba? May happiness and sadness. Yeah, may mga ganun eh. So we are subjected by this if we live within that consciousness of a whole material well-being that you are always thinking that it's all about my material needs. Eh. So then you forget the true big picture. You lose sight of wisdom. You lose sight of purposeful, being purposeful. Ang daming ganyan nangyayari. Kaya yung environment natin ay napaka-importante. Let's say if you live in an urban center, you find the competition gets very difficult.
The struggle.
The struggle yun eh.
complicated.
May competition
Yes.
yun eh. Kasi you compete with the limited resources.
Yeah. Like when you're looking for a place to stay pa lang.
You know,
Hard to find.
just go to
In a
work or
spot
just
that you
go to a
like.
particular place you want to go.
Sa
You go to the
MR.
market, for example, you go to the market. Siyempre,
Siksikan.
siksikan, ang dami maglilinya dyan.
Or just
You know,
riding a jeep. Ay, wala na akong space.
You know what I'm saying? We are compounded with that. So this is where we have to understand that, what are we doing wrong here? If we are in the leadership, you may have the education in the background to put things or to try to put things in order. But without a deeper purpose and a vision to uplift the well-being and the consciousness of the people, we will all just be fighting with one another.
Yun yung sinasabi na ang control naggagaling lang sa external.
Right.
Wala naman internal control yung mga tao na hindi ako lalabas o hindi ako magko-consume too much. It has to be an internal thing, internal discipline. But if you don't have that internal discipline, ay kailangan mo ng military, gagamitin mo yung mga police para sabihin, huwag kayong lumabas or huwag kayong magnanakaw, ganun, because everything is not coming from the hearts of people, you know.
So when we operate on a very limited space of our consciousness, we don't see a bigger picture. We may have managerial ability and the discipline to make decisions. But, if we are just reactive to what is already going on, you're just looking at a very shorter term. You see, you have to look at the deeper, the root of the problem.
Yes.
Yeah. When people are empty or they're not happy, right? In pursuit of, kasi by nature, human beings, we're pleasure seeker. Everybody wants to be happy. But for
Natural. We're
natural yun eh. For happiness to be there has to be peace, no? You come out, now, we were supposed to go visit my mother. Itong Pasko, parang, wow, back to traffic na, may pandemya ka pa. So, daming ganun na issues eh. So the fact that people are still trying to, the symptoms are there. The struggle is there, right? But they're continuing the persistence of trying to stick to such things that we never learn our lesson. We never get to see things in a very clear perspective. Is this how our life should be? Is this the pursuit of what we should be doing in our life?
Yung consumerism, the overconsumption, the lordship over, things and resources is creating problems,
So when Jesus came, he was there trying to tell everybody, I believe you guys are looking at the wrong direction here.
Wake up.
He said it.
Oh wait, I wanted to mixing it, okay? I hope you have heard that there's such a thing as the Zumbang Gabi, right? They're going to have Simbang Gabi through Zoom.
Uy, nandyan
So
pa rin.
this is one way
meron pa
people are
rin,
trying to
no?
get around, you want to do that but not put others in danger and put yourself in danger. It's nice that people are trying to find ways, to still remember Jesus Christ and follow these nice
The message
traditions.
there also is that these activities are actually spiritual beyond the physical.
Yes,
Hindi
you
ba?
might not be in the church
Oo,
itself, but if you
yes.
are taking the time to remember to thank the Lord, to
pray.
pray,
Yes.
it can still be
no matter
done.
what,
You will
many-
experience the same
No
happiness.
matter what kasi
And
many
the
of the
peace.
Filipinos, marami sa ating mga kababayan, gusto talaga nila magsimba pa rin. Gusto nila
Of
manalangin.
course, yes. So,
That is the very good nature of what makes us as a nation a little bit more may stability tayo doon kasi meron palagi tayong a way out of whatever it is. Pupunta ako sa simbahan at magdadasal ako. Mananalangin ako sa aking
yeah,
sa
in
aking
general,
Panginoon.
really, the Filipinos are a very pious people,
Yeah,
you know. So, nakakagawa tayo ng paraan. And that's why we're always, we've got resiliency. Yeah?
Yes,
We have
yes.
resiliency.
Kasi may faith, may pananampalataya.
Yes.
There's always hope because of that spiritual strength na
Longing,
nakukuha nila from their faith in God, from their
Yes.
connection by prayer to the Supreme. So, meron silang nararamdaman na, okay, kahit mahirap,
Oo.
dadaanan
Kaya
namin,
to. Oo.
kakayanin natin to.
And there
with the
is
help of
always
God.
a practical side of how one can apply and be within that. It's not like it just comes and go.
Yes.
So it's a decision that each of us would make.
Yes.
If I was to if my goal in life was to be of service to God and people, then the very purpose, the intent of that, it's not just coming from your mind or your intent. Actually, the guidance can come from within.
Oo.
Oh, wait, can I take a break and say hello
Yeah.
to Francis Go? Harbo, good morning.
Hi,
And then good morning to
Francis.
Radhika, Francis, Ivy, Tara, and Karkar.
Sabi rin ni
Yung
Angel
Karkar.
from
Oh,
Angel
Karkar
Gonzalo
Cebu yan.
from all
Oo
the
nga
way
eh.
from Dasmariñas, Cavite,
Okay.
and also from ayan mga Tara, yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you
and
very
I'd like
much
to
for
say belated
watching.
happy birthday to my son Carlos. It was his birthday yesterday.
And Ivy
Yeah.
Villamor from Greenery Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for joining us live on this show. Okay. We appreciate your company. Okay. So yung ano nga rin,
So, ano naman ang So I have the question, kasi we all talk about what's going on. Sometimes, how do you celebrate Christmas? Natin. It's something that for this special day, we have to understand soon, on Friday. Diba?
Yeah, Friday.
Now, are we looking into, let's say, as family members or as a father, kasi syempre, we have to plan things out. We have to make sure everybody's safe. We have to make sure we are all connected. Diba? And during this time of the year, it's really the time when everybody comes together and celebrate. What type of celebration? What option do we have? Diba? There's such a thing as simplicity. Let's set aside all of the other things and wag tayo magmamadali masyado na kailangan natin bumili ng regalo na ganun, regalo na ganyan. I think many of us should understand, let's not put ourselves at risk.
Yeah. Pero syempre, meron pa rin handaan.
But at the same time,
Kahit simple.
but at the same, even yung panghandaan mamimili pa rin kayo
Simple na lang.
Keep things simple. You don't
Do what you can without endangering yourself and others.
Actually, yung kahit sa handaan naman, make it simple and healthy.
Yes,
Exactly.
Diba?
definitely.
Very
Or,
simple.
yun nga, kaya nga sabi, sumbang gabi ngayon Okay? There's other ways to
Meron bang
connect.
sumbang handaan? Uy, meron
Well,
ganun.
what people are doing is
They're sharing, no?
Parang they
They take
send it to
pictures.
each others and then they eat together.
Yes.
So we
Still
all
see
are.
each other.
And look at another direction. Look at
Yes.
let's do something else for those who up to this point. Alam nyo, in the last 2 months, naging calamity zone yung ating isla dahil sa maraming bagyo. At up to this point, marami pa rin ang naapektuhan. So perhaps let's, instead of giving amongst ourselves, kung meron tayong kakayanan na,
Can reach out to others.
let us share it to others who are in need today. Yung nahihirapan. Alam nyo, marami talagang, if you watch them, may lungkot at lungkot palagi sa ganitong panahon. And that's what people are expressing today. May kalungkutan.
Like now, there are those who wanted to go home in time for Christmas, pero walang barko, hindi sila makauwi.
Yes.
because
Kahit
of-
ang buses yet, hindi pa rin
Yes.
nagpa-fly from province
So
to province.
we are always, there's so many possibilities that we can actually celebrate Christmas,
Actually, kahit naman sabihin natin, even in terms of solitude, yung ikaw lang
Mag-isa
mag-isa,
ka lang.
let's say, you can still experience peacefulness, you can experience happiness. Kasi nga meron ka naman prayer to connect you with
we're
your
never
Father.
really alone.
Oo.
Yeah, because
Yes, that's already
God is
one
always
way
there.
of celebrating Christmas. And then, syempre, bago mo maghanda, pag naghahanda, i-offer natin yung niluto natin, hinanda natin, offer it to the Lord. Dear Lord, please accept this for your enjoyment and pleasure, no? So, itong offering na ito, yun, ang papaligaya din sa ating puso, hindi ba? Tapos, syempre, mabibenefit din pag shinare natin dun sa ibang tao, no? Hindi lang maghanda tayo tapos tayong kakain ng lahat, pero to share it with others is another form of happiness. Kahit mapadala mo yan sa kapitbahay or dun sa security guard. Meron tayong isang kaibigan dito, he goes out in his car, then abot siya ng pagkain dun sa mga frontliners, security, military, ganun. That makes him very happy. And it makes other people happy to receive that kind of thoughtfulness and caring gift from people. So, ano pang gagawin sa Christmas? Ano pang
I think
pwedeng
it's a time to
activities?
also remember all the things we need to be thankful for. That kahit na isang taon na tayo nagkaroon ng COVID, there are those who, like kami, somehow or other, hindi pa naman kami nagkakasakit. We're still enjoying good health. And there are many things to be thankful for. We should learn to list them down and appreciate each one.
Or there are
Instead of
certain-
thinking of the things we can't have at this time.
Yeah. When you look into options to do, there are many possibilities. There are those, okay. Kahapon nga, there was a tree planting activity we did. That the group that I organized did. They planted almost 100 plus trees.
Nice.
And why do we do this? And before the planting activities, there was a priest who was, you know, he gave a message that like, wow, this is wonderful. Sabi niya na gano'n. Kasi hindi niya ma-imagine na pwede. Kasi nobody took the time to ever explain to him. Kasi I spoke to the priest before. I said, look, when you plant trees, it has a far-reaching impact for people. Every time you plant trees, it's not for yourself.
Oh,
It is for
yes.
everybody else. May ganyan.
Including the birds and the bees.
Lahat
and,
na lang.
Even the
Eh,
germs, the bacteria
Everybody
on the
benefits
ground.
from it.
Oh.
So it's a type of gift that it encompasses the limitations of who are you just giving it to. But the very intent of doing that, it's an act of piousness.
Yeah, because most of these trees, like senior citizen na tayo, no? We might plant a tree. It's gonna be there for years
Yeah. So this is,
after we've gone. Yeah.
so this is sinasabi mo also pwedeng gawing spiritual activity.
Yes, it is.
Actually is,
Yung mga
yeah.
activities na yan,
Because
no?
on the end of the day, it is for the benefit of everyone.
Yeah.
It is a
For
caring
the
heart.
greater good.
Yeah, it comes from your heart, yung intent mo eh. And you don't, again, you don't put a premium on it na may measurement ka, yan, ito ginawa ko. No. The pleasure, the fact that you're doing something in connection to nature, contributing. Katulad
giving
yung,
back.
ito nga dito sa atin sa La Union, hindi ba yung Kurma Project?
Oh, yes.
Ang dami-dami this year. You know,
I think the great news in the Kurma project, we've turned former poachers into pawikan patrollers who are helping us. And now we even have pets who have also become patrollers. Yeah, we have...
before they were just scavengers looking for eggs to eat. But
yeah, the
now,
dogs, they eat also the eggs. But now they are helping the poachers to find the egg nests.
Tapos, or yung naman, yung pag inabot niyo yung nanay, normally the dogs will harass. But now there's certain animals, like certain dogs that are, siya ng poacher, yung alaga siya.
Yeah.
Hindi niya, tumatahol lang siya para sabihin doon na may ganito.
Yeah, Mang Johnny. Yeah, Mang Johnny has 3 dogs who are helping him.
So there's
With
so
his,
many things that we can be doing.
we
you
can
know.
patrolling.
Again, for the greater good. Diba? So this is the best gift that we can actually give. But there's one, really. It is to share that love that Jesus has given to us, to everybody else. Let's help remind one another what that message is, and not just by words, but actually by deeds and actions. The other day, meron kaming Zoom ng mga top scientists ng mga sa Pilipinas, sa DOST.
Future Earth Society.
A lot of information is there in their hands. But it's a matter of passing it on to everybody else to make sure that it's put in place simply because it is for the betterment and to improve the environment of the people so it becomes more conducive to that very purpose of why humans are there. Yung purpose ng tao. But if the conditions are, there's a constant struggle, there's no peace, how can you be very introspecting in your life? No. So this is, kaya nga, we are all part of the solution. From our leadership to the most common person.
And every person actually can have not just even a small effect, can have a big effect. No, hindi natin sabihin maliit na akong tao to lang. There's so many
There's
kumbaga,
a ripple effect actually.
Ripple and
One
in-
tiny deed
Oo.
can reach so far.
there was once one person who came from New York and he went to help the people that he saw in India because he had history siya na galing din yung mga ninuno niya sa India. Pinaliguan lang niya, tapos binigyan niya ng haircut, ganun lang. Tapos habang ginagawa niya yun, kumalat yung news, no? The news spread and everybody, how can we help you? until he became well known, and then people were sending him donations and everything. So sometimes we think, ako lang to, wala namang epekto masyado ito. But you'll never know. That could be really a good example that you will set, that will get every other person inspired and wanting to help you. And this will snowball into a very, very big action for the
actually, there's many
people.
stories like that during this
Yes.
COVID time. Yeah,
Oo.
like there was this lady had a little garden, and then so she had always so much. She put a table outside to put her produce and free for everyone. Then that kept growing and growing. People started helping her. Hanggang yung street niya napuno na ng mga gulay
Wow.
that people were
tingnan mo.
giving away.
So you see, instead of, di ba minsan naisip natin, pag naglagay ka ng pagkain sa labas, baka may magnanakaw, di ba? But here, it's totally different.
Now everyone needs
Na-appreciate nila, uy,
something.
masaya na to
Baka pati mesa nakawin nung magnanakaw.
Oo.
Yeah, but there hindi naman because
No.
people are really having a difficult time with the COVID situation.
At saka na-understand
Malaking tulong.
nila that this was for helping people.
Yeah,
with
So,
the-
nirespeto nila yon.
And some people
Diba?
will come and they will give, and then if there's something they like, they exchange ba? Like, I'll take this but I'll give this back.
ibang-
So tulungan
Ibang
talaga.
klaseng palengke yun. Ibang
Oo,
klaseng
no money involved. Yan ang no money, ha?
Cashless.
Cashless,
Hindi, di ba? Pero
Only full of heart.
and full of happiness for
Yes.
people. Hindi ba? Ang ganda ng thought na yan. No?
Again, this is pious actions, eh.
Oo.
So it
It's
comes-
about giving, remember. This is
Yeah.
what Jesus taught us. Love is about giving.
So nice naman if we have a little project on to help somebody during this up to maybe the next few days.
Find some
di ba?
activities that
Find
you
some
can do. And not only
activities.
that this time, but
Oo.
it can be something you do every day of your
Yeah,
life.
As we say, Christmas can be every day.
Yes. So we can, so we're not just remembering, giving, and sharing this time of the year, but actually, if we live our life of service, being of service to others, okay, to our fellow man, being service and making sure that God is the center of our life, serving Him, with that exchange of service out of love, and our hearts will change, and we won't be so angry. We will have peace.
Yan ang maganda, that more people will have an internal activity and then manifest it through external action.
And those
then-
external
Oo.
actions, you cannot just say it's a material activity because it's done in such same environment. But the intent is higher. It's a spiritual activity. It's
Comes from a deeper place.
it's an act of glorification and an offering, right?
For sure, matutuwa si Jesus
Right.
Christ sa mga ganyan.
So,
Kasi
yeah.
we put
Diba?
into action what He's taught us.
Oo. And that the pleasure, we know that we are pleasing to the Father and to His Son, Jesus Christ, and to all the other devotees, no? Parang, nakakaano rin pala, kahit walang pumansin sa atin, walang nag-thank you, walang nag-recognize, but we know that this is actually very pleasing to God and to His Son, Jesus Christ. Then, we're so happy, hindi
Yeah,
ba?
I think it's quite instantaneous. When you make someone happy, ang sarap ng pakiramdam talaga.
Yes. So it's nice that we put our minds, maganda yun, no? May project planning tayo, our minds into how can we share the gift of Christmas with everybody. This will keep our minds away from depression, away from loneliness, away from self-pity or,
And one has to understand that the actions we perform, the deeper intent is always what guides you to engage in that action is important. Because we may be so busy doing things, but at the same time we can also become so neglectful with the more important things. Sometimes
Yes.
we miss out on the very reason why we have to engage in action. So,
Like
meaningful
for example,
action.
Yeah. Like for example, even the very activity we miss out, let's say, is reading the Bible and other scriptures. Even one part of it can actually be an inspiration for you for the rest of the day. It's something, the wisdom that you can get from reading scriptures. And then, okay, how can I manifest this? How can I translate this into action? Oo, yun din ang magagawa natin, hindi ba? Tapos siguro this Christmas, mas maraming mga strangers na biglang magugulat. Uy, binigyan ako nung kapitbahay namin. Dati hindi ako pinapansin. You know? Parang lahat matutuwa dahil merong sharing with
Sometimes
even
they're
other
like
people.
random acts of kindness are the ones that really touch you. Yeah.
Yes. It's so very eye-opening, this pandemic. Kasi dati, yung mga tao, mahilig sila pag ganitong holidays, saan ako pupunta magbibiyahe? Okay, going to a tourist spot, going to, abroad and everything. But now we're forced to, okay, we're here. Okay. So, how can we find happiness
Yeah,
being here,
in
not traveling?
in a setting like the pandemic, it becomes we need to change our way of seeing things. And in such situation, those who had that heart of service from the beginning, you will find they are shining in this situation.
Yes.
They are not going to be. They're the people that are not missing out. But for those who have not seen this aspect, and what can I do, and experience that same result of what
At least they're getting ideas now. Yeah.
So this is so
Oo.
vital.
Ano na yan kasi, parang, ano na yan,
there's
blessing.
Excuse me, there's this message here from Ivy Villamar. She's saying there's a, what is that? GK3K, Pay It Forward project. Yeah, it's street dwellers ang particular barangay in Marikina, Bulacan, and Manila.
Ito yung GK3K. Ayan.
Yeah.
Gawad Kalinga yan.
So they're
okay.
helping others in that barangay. Nice.
So, yun, tayo sa barangay natin, hindi ba?
Right.
Pwede natin gawin yan. At kung lahat tayo spread all over, di maraming barangays ang
And let's also not think
benefit.
we can only give food. No.
Oo.
Yeah.
We can
For
give
example,
seeds.
Yes.
We can give clothing.
seeds.
Ang daming
And
seeds.
kami,
Plants.
kasi we live in the farm, we had to trim our trees and everything. We gave away the wood kasi marami pa rin gumagamit ng kahoy for
Tsaka
cooking.
namigay ako ng maraming kawayan.
Oo.
Kasi,
So we had to trim
i-repair yung mga bahay.
Oo, mga bakod.
Pang mga repair, ganyan yan.
Yung isang friend namin, marami siyang propagation ng oregano, talinum, gano'n. No, yun,
panggamot,
pinapamigay
So much.
din yan. No? Those
Seedlings.
are nice,
These are things
nice
of,
gifts.
you know why it's such a nice thing to share to people? Because it multiplies.
Oo.
And sometimes with food, pag kinakain mo, siyempre yung mga gutom na tayo, importante yung pagkain. Pero yung pag nagbigay ka sa kanila ng mga something na papakinabangan nila ng
Like
mas
namigay
mahabang
tayo
panahon.
ng papaya. Little papaya seedlings.
Seedlings,
So,
yes.
Dahil malunggay,
So
ang
for a
dami.
long time, they're gonna have papayas kung tinanim nila yon. Oo.
So you get things moving. So there are so many ways to share things to others. But such sharing, one has to look at it in the perspective that it's not something we try to force upon ourselves, but it's something that is already inherent in our hearts. The sharing and giving is there, and of service. We just need to awaken it.
May kwento ako lang i-share. When I went to one country and I gave my hosts, yung nakitira ako sa kanila, nirigaluhan ko sila ng dwarf kalachuchi plant. Ngayon, nung bumalik ako after so many years, malaking si dwarf, medyo ganyan pa rin, no? Pero ang dami ng bulaklak. Tapos sabi nila sa akin, alam mo, every time kami pumipitas ng flower at ino-offer namin yung flower sa Panginoon, naalala ka namin. sabi ko ngayon, kailangan bumili rin ako uli ng halaman para irigalo ko sa inyo. You know?
Did you not give them a fruit tree that next
Yes.
time? Oo.
Ang dami
tree
nga
naman ang
You
binibigay
want us
ko.
to, there's so many ways, so many things we can
Trees are
share with
wonderful
everyone.
gifts. Oo.
Plants, trees, seedlings, seeds, all of this will go a long way, More than
Ano pa?
anything else, many people, even in areas na nasalanta ng baha o nasalanta ng bagyo, this is one of the most in demand. And in our country, one of the things that we are faced with, our people, yung sa social component is siyempre may basic needs tayo. Water, good nutritious food, earth yan. Tapos malinis na hangin. So when you have all of these things, that's why I always keep going back, reminding everybody, look, we have a task that we need to get done for the future. We have to give time to simplify and to be introspective in the way we're living our lives. You know, this is the time to kind of, wag niyong isipin na porket frugal kayo,
Kawawa kayo. Oo.
you know, we have to embrace a more simple approach to things. I-minimize natin kasi we proved it in the pandemic
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
pwede palang mabuhay.
Pwede
Hindi
palang mabuhay
kumakain
na
sa
simple.
restaurant. Oo.
You know, these are things na ano yan kumbaga, there's certain things we cannot do now, but don't be thinking that if I can't do what I have been doing for so long and used to doing, I will be unhappy. No. The message of Jesus was simple. Simplicity, higher,
Live
higher,
simply,
you live simply, yeah, but your consciousness is that's higher.
Yes,
You know.
always thinking of God, always being thankful, and always sharing to
Yeah.
everyone.
This is one thing that we need to learn to embrace in our daily life. And not just be looking for things for myself all the time. What's gonna make me happy? May ganun kasi So itong pandemya, na-force tayo
Yes.
magbago. Baguhin nyo yung, hindi kayo pwedeng lumabas, hindi kayo pwedeng pumunta sa mall. Tapos, kailangan tayo magtipid ng konti because we might not have jobs.
Yeah.
Or even
Or
if
we
I
don't
have,
have jobs na nga. Oo.
if I have, kunyari may trabaho man ako,
You don't know how long.
yung kung may kinikita
Oo.
ako, ibigay nyo sa something that is more valuable and important. And not just something that, you go,
Frivolous.
yeah, yung gano'n na, being frugal.
Mag-iiba na yung ating Christmas list. Hindi ba yung
Right.
gusto nating mangyari for Christmas and New Year, pati kasama na yung New Year's resolution. Iba na po
We
yung
need
ating
to look at it in
pananaw.
another
Yes,
perspective. And
ibang pananaw.
just because we have a vaccine that's on our way, it will take a couple more years or year at least.
Yeah.
It doesn't solve.
Yeah.
This pandemic, you can look at it as a blessing.
Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise, really.
It's a reminder. Look, we have been heading towards the wrong direction, the way we have been living our life. We have basically ruined and overused our natural resources worldwide. And if we do not change the way we see things and the way we do things, there will be something more worse than a pandemic coming our way. It is the impact of our climate, reaching a point of
No return.
what is known as, kumbaga collapse.
Oo.
Yes.
Past the tipping point.
Yeah, we're past the tipping point already.
Meron din tayong masasabing spiritual collapse.
Yes,
Diba? Yung
kaya nga
yung
sa
mga-
buhay natin, dahil meron din tayong pagkukulang, di ba? Pagdating sa spiritual well-being natin. Doon tayo
We got
nagkukulang.
too busy with the wrong things.
Right. So, it becomes more sensuous ang buhay natin. Sensuousness ang naging center
Yeah.
ng buhay natin. But if we make our life, we center our life into doing what Jesus has showed us. This is the direction. I'm here. He's a messenger of peace. And this is how you can get peace in your life.
Okay.
There's no peace in this world. That's why when He came, this is how you get peace.
Yeah, He
Yes.
actually taught us.
Taught us how it is
Workshop.
done.
And even if, kahit ibang simbahan tayo, kahit ibang process yung pina-follow, still the message applies to everyone.
Everybody.
Yung
Yeah,
gift ni
there
Jesus is
one
for everybody.
God.
So
One
to
God.
everybody, maraming salamat uli sa inyo.
Meron
And
pa tayong babatiin muna,
Si
we're
no?
Agnes.
sure
Hello to
you
Agnes,
are
Lenore,
safe and
Agnes
with your family this
Ibanez,
coming Christmas.
Priscilla.
And
Francis.
simplify, i-simplify natin ang ating Pasko.
Yes.
Let us spend more time in prayer and introspection. and thankfulness for all the wonderful gifts we have been received. The gift of life.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Maraming
peace
salamat
be
po sa
with
inyo.
you. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Pangkalusugan, pangkalikasan, Gopalakas.